Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. As you saw in the title of the video, I'm an American that's been living here in China for 14 years now. And today we're going to be discussing the collapse of China. So first of all, before I get into this video, I have a question for y'all. A lot of people have been leaving comments on the videos that they wanted me to go out and shoot more content outside. And I've been doing that, but nobody seems to watch the videos. But when I sit here at home and talk to y'all face to face with the camera, more people seem to watch the videos. So let me know in the comments below, what type of content would you like to see from me? So that way I can make more of that content for you. So that being said, let's get into the video about the collapse of China. So all throughout 2023, I've kept coming across these headlines or videos and stuff like on YouTube and also in the news media about China's collapse. And so this sparked my interest in this topic. So I decided to dig deeper and do some research on this topic and find out what the hell they're talking about. So first of all, before we get into this, I'm going to open up my phone here. I'm going to record the screen for y'all so I can show y'all what I'm actually looking at. But we're going to look here at YouTube for a second, just so you can get an idea of why my interest was piqued on this topic. So let's open up YouTube, and I'm going to search here for y'all. Let's search the collapse. The collapse of China. There we go. The collapse of China. Let's search this. So when we search this collapse of China, let's look at what we see. Why China's collapse is imminent. Why China's rise was spectacular but doomed. Okay, pay attention to these thumbnails too. 576 billion collapse of China's banks. It's over for China. Collapse of China's bank. A world without China. Look, it's over for Xi. Look at that. The collapse. What would happen if China collapsed? China's system is broken. Done with China. The dragon's decline. Like, so much stuff about how China is going to collapse. So I decided to study this a little bit and find out what's really going on. So I'm going to share with y'all what I discovered during some of these studies. And I'm going to share my opinion on it. As you see, this channel is called Viewpoint Abroad, which means this is my point of view as someone who's living abroad. So you can take this with a grain of salt, right? It might not be 100% fact or something like that. I'm just sharing with y'all my viewpoint, my opinions based on my own conclusions to the research I've done and what I've found and what I see with my own two eyes living here in China. All right, so there you have it. So first of all, I'm going to share with y'all some of the things I uncovered, right? Let's do that first. So during my research, I uncovered a lot of articles from magazines and news media and stuff like that about China. And so let me share that with you guys. I have shared with you here on my phone. You can see China collapse. Look, 1990, in the year 1990, Economist magazine, China's economy has come to a halt. There's thousands of articles like this, by the way, too. You can research and find them all. But I'm just sharing with you some that I found during my research, but there's thousands of them. 1996, The Economist. China's economy faced a hard landing. 98, China's economy is entering a dangerous period. 99, likelihood of a hard landing for China. 2000, China currency move nails hard landing. Okay, a hard landing for China. 2002, China anxiously seeks a soft landing. 2003, how to find a soft landing in China, right? So China is doomed economically since 1990, according to this. 2004, the great fail of China. The risk of a hard landing. Can China achieve a soft landing? China's economy is overheating. Hard landing for China. It just goes on and on. Look, 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013. Hard landing. 15. You got yourself a Chinese hard landing. Wow. Hard landing for China. 2017. China's economy is going to crash. 2020, the scary solution to Chinese crisis. 2021, has China's downfall started? 2022, China's collapse is far worse than you think. 2023, this is the end of China's economic growth. So since 1990, we've seen these articles about the collapse of China. And when I did some digging on the collapse of China since 1990, I want to share with you what I found while doing this digging, which is easy for anybody to find. So if we look here, you can see China's economic growth over the past 30 years. So let's look at it and see what it is. Now, if we look down here, you see the top of this first bullet point here. China's economy has grown significantly faster than every measure on our visual. It's grown 14 times the size since 1989. So in 1989, China had a huge spike in their economic growth. In 1990, the negative news started coming out about China's growth. Now let's look at the visuals. So right here, the red line you can see here, this is China's growth since 1989 until currently. So over the past 30 years, look, China has grown. China has outpaced, who they outpaced? The S&P 500, which is the best stock market in the world. China has beat them by a large margin. See the line in blue? The US debt, they outpaced that. Low income countries, what's the green one? Look, they outpaced them. The world economy, China outpaced the entire world by a large margin. See the yellow line? The US economy, here's the red line way down here at the bottom. See the red line at the top? China, they have outpaced everything, every huge metric in the entire world. China has outgrown them since 1990, since China's been falling according to legacy news media. So ever since the 90s, China's crashing, China's doomed, China's failing. But China has outpaced everybody, the entire world, in economic growth. 14 times. So when you see these things about China is going to collapse, do you believe it? I don't believe it, because I can look at the data clearly and see that since 1989, or for the past 30 years, China has grown significantly greater than every major economic, everything in the world, every economic growth in the entire world. China has topped everybody, the entire world, and has topped everybody by more than 14 times. So, do I think China is going to collapse? No, I don't. I think it's a bunch of BS that the Western media is going on about, saying China's going to collapse, China's going to collapse. And if they say it every single year for the next 100 years, maybe they'll get it right eventually. But right now, is China going to collapse? No, it's not going to collapse. Is China's economy slower or not doing as good as it did previously? Yes, I would say that's true. But the entire world is actually going through, a slow economic growth at the moment, including my home in America. The entire world economically is not doing great right now. Does that mean China's going to collapse? No. It just means they're growing slower than what they grew previously. And just to give you a comparison, just think of examples. Let's think of Apple, for example, right? When Apple first became a business, when it was first established, since then, they have grown thousands of percent, right? But now Apple is a huge, well-established company, probably one of the best companies in the world. They're not going to grow thousands of percent anymore because they've already experienced a huge, massive growth. So of course their growth is going to slow down. And that's what you're seeing with China now, because they experienced so much growth. They've outpaced the entire world of growth. They have to slow down eventually, okay? It doesn't mean they're going to collapse. They're still doing great. They're just not growing by as much as they grew before because they've grown so much, right? So you have to take these things with a grain of salt. Now, another thing that I want to share with y'all in terms of this, I think we need to think about who's telling us these things and why are they telling us these bad things or these negative things about China? What's the reason behind it? And when I was doing my research on this topic, I've discovered that the U.S. federal government has spent billions of dollars, billions with a B, billions of dollars on anti-China and anti-Russia, like propaganda or whatever, right? They want you to say bad things about China and Russia. And how they spent this billions of dollars was training legacy news outlets in America how to write articles about it's Chinese New Year, lots of fireworks going on outside. But they spent billions of dollars teaching these media outlets how to write articles about China and Russia and North Korea, how to write articles to paint them in a negative light and make everything seem like really bad through the tone of the writing. And not only that, they also taught them how to write the headlines to make it seem negative. They also taught them how to apply, like what type of pictures to use for the articles and how to apply filters on the pictures to make it seem more negative than what it really is. And I want to show y'all some of the proof I have of this, just to give you an example, and then you can go and do the research on your own and check it out for yourself and see. But I want to show y'all some of the things that I came across, just so you can see. So here's some of the here we go. Here's some of the things that I found. So look here. Here's an Economist magazine cover. China's military rise. Nothing special, right? We see a submarine. This obviously has to do with the military. But you can see how the picture looks dark and gloomy. It's like kind of faded, like washed out, whitewashed, not very colorful, right? Look at this one. Look at this picture. See how bright it is right next to it? Europe's tea parties. Look, there's France, there's Britain, these European countries. They're our allies. We're going to make them bright and colorful. Look at it compared to China's cover. You see the difference in the colors? Let's look at another one. Oh, look, China, the paradox of prosperity. Look how dark and gloomy this cover looks. Such a beautiful scene, and it's covered with this dark, gloomy filter to make it look really bad. Look, the European one. Look how bright it is compared to China's. Look at this one. Here's a Russia article. Look, they make Putin whitewashed and looks like a freaking madman. Look here. Here's again another China one. Look how pale it is. They make all the colors pale to make it look really negative. Look here, another China one. You can see the background. You can see at the top of the picture, it's kind of whitewashed. They applied a filter to this to make it look gloomy and dark and not very positive. Oh, look at this one. Here's an American one. Look how bright and colorful it is compared to the China one. The color just pops out at the page at you because America is great, right? Oh, look, here's another China one. Look at the colors. You see that? It's negative. The world is going to be a terrible place if Russia and China are in charge of the world. Look at this one. Here we have both in the same picture. We have America and China on the same magazine cover. Look at the American side. See the colors pop out and they're bright and catchy, and then it just fades into darkness on the China side because China's bad. Oh, here's another whitewashed cover. Look at this one. India. We like India now. We're trying to send business to India. Look at the colors, how bright the India one is. Look at this one. Taiwan. Taiwan's our friend, and Taiwan is a target. We're going to save them. So look, we make it all bright and colorful and beautiful. We're coming to the rescue, right? More China bad. Look, America's best friend. Look how bright it is compared to the China one. They use these colors and filters and all these things to make people think one place is bad and one place is good. Look at this. Here's a negative article about America, but look how bright the colors are. Look, this is about inflation, how it's hard to bring inflation down, and America's struggling with inflation. But look how bright and colorful the picture is. It's not that bad, is it? Right? Inflation's not that bad. Look how bright it is. Look, here's another negative article about America. Look at the colors, how bright it is, even though this is negative. They use a bright, colorful picture, kind of funny, playful picture, right? Because it's not that bad. And look at this. This is from some American news article. Look at Putin, how white he is. They apply a filter over this. And look at Biden, how colorful Biden is, because Russia's bad. Look at this one. Here's the comparison. This one right here that you're looking at is the American version. You can see Biden's colorful. Look at Putin. He's kind of white and pale. And look at Xi Jinping. Look at the background of his picture. It's also faded. He's also kind of like the pale color. And look at the same thing posted in Asia. Okay, look at Putin. Look how colorful he is compared to this picture. Let's look at Biden. Look at Biden. The color, pretty much the same. Let's look at Xi. Whitewashed. He's a bad man. Look at him here. Normal color. So these are the type of tricks and tactics they use. Look at this one. Again, whitewashed. These are the tricks and tactics they use to make you think that this place is bad and we're great, right? When in reality, every place has great things about it, and every place has bad things about it. You know, in reality, there are things that America does that I think they do 10 times better than China and are much better than China. But there's also things America does that are 10 times worse than China. And China does some things that are really great and much better. They do some things better than America does, right? There's places about Malaysia, like places in Malaysia, that do things much better than China, or much better than America, or much better than other places. And the same for every country, right? There's lots of things that I love about Thailand that I like more than China. It doesn't mean that some places are great and places aren't great, right? Nobody can be number one at everything, right? We all have our strengths, we all have our weaknesses, and that's part of life. That's part of human beings, human nature, and the same goes for different countries. Some countries are great in certain things and not so great at other things. That's the way the world is. But just because somebody is better than you at a certain thing, or does some things that you don't necessarily agree with, it doesn't mean they have to be your enemy, right? They don't have to be your enemy. You don't have to portray them in such a negative light just because they did some things that you don't like, right? That's just my point of view. Like, why not work together, right? America has its strengths and America has its weaknesses. Why don't the things we're weak at that China's good at, why don't we work together so we both benefit from that, and vice versa? You know, like, I don't understand why it has to be such a negative campaign, or why you have to smear somebody to say this place is horrible because they do this or they do that, or they didn't do this or didn't do that, and they're really bad, whenever you have your own faults as well. That's just my take and my perspective on it, based on some of the things that I found in my research and also what I've experienced living here. So anyway, I would love to hear from you in the comments below, and I'd be happy to have a discussion with you. But you know, some people like to come and leave comments about, oh, whatever, you're a shill or a traitor or something like that. That's not the case. And if you're going to do that kind of thing, I have no interest in engaging with you, because how can we have a civil conversation? But if your opinion is different than mine and you want to have a discussion about it, I'm more than happy and more than open to have that discussion with you and share with you my opinions, and also take a look at your opinions as well and do my research on them so I can come to my own conclusion. But when it comes to the name calling and attacks, I'm not even gonna waste my time. So if that's you, don't even waste your time. So anyway, I'm done ranting, done talking about this. I hate to make these kind of videos, but I did it anyway. Watch this video right here. YouTube says you should watch that one next, so check that out for me, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Take care, love y'all, see y'all next time.